The new update is officially out, and there's a few things you should know, like new secrets, new gameplay systems, and also a new sneaky nerf for this update. But first, obviously the event is here. All of the skins are here, and they're as solid as we thought they were. I'm sure you've all seen these skins way more than you needed to, but this format is a collection event, even though it looks like a milestone event, so you can craft any of the skins you want to for 2,400 for a legendary skin and 1,200 for an epic item. Also, one thing not a lot of you have seen because Respawn didn't show it in any promotional material before this event is a skydive trail that comes with the Pathfinder mythic skin, and here it is. You get this trail at tier 1, so basically as soon as you get the skin, and this trail can be applied to any legend. Also, something about the finisher, you can do the finisher on any tier of the skin, so it's not like the old prestige skins where you only can do it on tier 3. And also we do have the reward tracker with free stuff that can be upgraded by completing challenges that are given out every few days during the event, so definitely make sure to get on the grind for this. I'm going to go back to the cosmetics later, as there is a cheaper way to get the Pathfinder mythic skin, but first let's look at the actual content in this game mode, because we have Trick or Treat Trios Revival, which just rolls off the tongue, with a brand new E-District map. The new E-District variant looks a lot brighter than the original and has several differences. In the skybox, first of all, the sky's colour is a bit different, and the city in the background is covered in vines. The actual map is covered in these electrical vines as well. These vines seem to be wires on a closer inspection, which light up and pulse every few seconds. They pulse bright blue and have taken over many parts of the map. Also, there's a few new things in this map which I think Respawn just added with this map variant, like TVs around Shipyard Arcade, which I think are new. They seem to be powered by the Halloween vines, so I am assuming so. And the map has got loads of brand new billboards which have been redesigned for Halloween. But before we talk about them and the secret trick with the new item Respawn have added, let's talk about War Thunder. You may have heard of it. It's the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and guess what? It's free on PC and consoles. War Thunder is an incredibly detailed vehicle combat game with over 2,500 vehicles ranging from the 1920s to today, with an insane amount of detail and realistic graphics, and the community really makes sure these vehicles are accurate. And from personal experience, these guys have the most satisfying plane and tank controls in any game I've played. To try out War Thunder, there's a link in the pinned comment and description, and also, if you use my link in the description, new players and returning players who haven't played for the last 6 months will get a free pack containing an Eagle of Valor vehicle decorator, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of a premium account. But it's limited time, so act quick. But back onto the Halloween map changes, you may notice a lot of the advertisements have been completely reworked, which is really fun. Most of them have a spooky overhaul, and it gives you a reason to double take a lot of the places you've seen a million times in E-District. That's not the only thing though. If you play it on E-District now, you may notice that there are plenty of new items to play with, like a million copycat abilities and the Rev School Grenade. The Rev School Grenade is actually the V2 of the Rev School Grenade, as one was released last year that we did have a lot of fun with, but this time it's the Cyber School. This has a lot of interesting things about it. First of all, it has a special inspect animation, but it also has some very interesting physics that you can put to work, especially if you play Path, because when you throw a school grenade, it goes in a straight line most of the time. This makes it very easy to grapple, and luckily they are grappleable if you are playing Pathfinder. So if you throw a skull and grapple it at just the right moment, you can use it to cover some decent ground. This is a really cool little gameplay thing that was discovered last time the school came around, and still it works, and still it's really fun to do. You can actually combine this with the copycat abilities like Horizon's Lift, and then throwing the school and then grappling onto the school from Horizon's Lift, but unfortunately I'm just not good enough to do that. The school as a weapon is decent, to be honest. It does put a lot of pressure on the enemies, but the enemies can simply turn around and shoot it a few times and it will disappear, so it's not a majorly OP weapon, but it is a good way to put pressure on enemies. Also, it's really intimidating because it has voice lines and it literally disses you whenever you pick it up. He actually has 3 sets of voice lines for the majority of the legends, voice lines for Pathfinder, and then voice lines for Rev. These voice lines will play when you have the grenades in your hand and you're just walking about and messing about. His voice lines for the normal legends are pretty average.
You actually gonna kill anyone, or should I?
But when he starts getting picked up by robots like Pathfinder and Ash, he starts dissing them a bit.
We can kill better than you. You're just a waste of parts.
But the disses get real when he gets picked up by his own kind. When he gets picked up by Revenant, he really doesn't hold back, and he basically just roasts Revenant and calls him useless.
If it isn't my double, always surprised you're still alive.
Those aren't the only new voice lines in the update, because every single legend who wasn't released before the Doppelganger event does have new voice lines whenever they use a copycat kit. The voice lines I was most excited to see for the copycat kit was Conduit's voice lines, because at the end of the day she was introduced to Apex as a fan of the legends, so I'm sure her using her favourite legends abilities would bring some pretty cool voice lines. And her voice lines are decent.
Copycat ability. Lot of experience with playing legends.
And then Alta also got some new copycat voice line.
I'm using a copycat ability. Huh. I bet that's confusing.
Another new addition we got in the Halloween update were new jump scares. If you're not aware, every single Halloween Respawn do add jump scares to the loot bins, where whenever you open them, a small creature or critter does jump out. Before this year we had a spider jump scare and also a grunt jump scare. But in this event, Respawn added the Cyber Nessie jump scare. The Cyber Nessie is basically just an evil Nessie that does spit at you, and it does have a cool Halloween design. Unfortunately this year though, I think Respawn removed the grunt jump scare. I'm not sure why, but I simply haven't got it. I've got the spider jump scare many times and the Nessie jump scare many times, but no sign of the grunt jump scare, which is a shame because the grunt was literally a model from Titanfall 2 put in Apex. Killing the creatures that do jump scare you do give you all of the loot bins content, so it isn't some sort of unfair thing. And fun fact, the spider is the only jump scare that will not attack you. It will just scare you and then hang out. We did also get a brand new patch a few days before this update came to the game. We got an actual Mozambique nerf. In this nerf, all forms of the Mozambique, including single and akimbo, had the rate of fire reduced at the base rate of fire and with bolts. The magazine for both the single and akimbo were reduced, and the blast pattern scale was increased. Also, the projectile size is now reduced, so these got a massive nerf, which makes them a lot less spammable mostly, so you will have to actually hit your shots. This nerf wasn't in the patch notes, but Respawn released it a few days after the patch notes, so I assume they were meant to put it in there but forgot. And before we go back to the lobby and talk about the weird new store that Respawn added, it is 3 weeks until the new season comes out. So we have 2 weeks of the collection event and then a week of nothing until the new season, which is going to be good because honestly I'm kind of fed up with this season, and hopefully next season with Lifeline Reborn does reinvigorate the game. But when you go back to the lobby, you may notice a few things, like the lobby has had a Halloween redesign, and the banners in the lobby do change whenever you start queuing for a match, which is pretty cool. Also, if you go over to the store section, we do have a new store, which is the whole threat level event re-released in store form. If you don't remember, the threat level event was an event with enough skins to be a collection event, but Respawn didn't make it a collection event for some reason, and it was essentially just a glorified store event. So Respawn basically re-released this event. As well as that, if you go into the event section, you will see 2 bundles for sale with collection event items, and yes, the age-old money saving technique does apply. If you do want to fully buy out this collection event, the cheapest way to do it would be buy these 2 bundles right here and then buy packs. Respawn have drastically reduced the size of the event store to literally 2 bundles for some reason. I don't know why they've done this. They've probably done it because there are so many sales in the store tab right now, and they probably don't feel like crowding the game too much. A few people have noticed a few things in this update though, like there is no Revenant voice announcer that has replaced the games, which is annoying a lot of people, and yes, it is a shame. It does take a lot of personality away from the Halloween aspect of the mode, and also a lot of people are just mad about how boring the E-District map variant is. Yes, it is really cool with the new lighting, but honestly I can agree to some degree. It doesn't feel like there are many major changes, and there's only a few small details like the ads in the map changing and also some vines, although above the stadium point of interest is probably the biggest change, where one of the blimps was pulled down by the vines and it just changed up the appearance of the stadium a bit. Other than that, that is pretty much the whole Halloween event, and that's it now. Until the end of the season, I don't think we're getting anything notable that's new, but still, get out there and use this grapple trick and subscribe. And again, thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Definitely check them out in the pinned comment or description, and if you sign up for the game or return to the game with my link, you will get some cool free rewards like 100,000 silver, a vehicle decorator, and 7 days of premium. War Thunders on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.